I read the questions to you, then you can answer.
Sure.
Okay, so first question is, why do you decide to do what you do? Why do you volunteer your time and resources to help with the beneficiaries?
I think we actually, if you all didn't know, Food Bank was co-founded by my sister Nicole and myself, and we, hold on, give me 1 minute. Stop touching my computer, please. Yeah. So so it was co-founded by Nicole and myself. We are actually in the food distribution business. So we already do food. So that is for profit. And somewhere down the road, about 10 over years in, we realized there was excess food. I mean, even from ourselves, we realized there was excess food. And we were selling things like canned mushrooms, which had a shelf life of 2 years. So if we thought that we should try and do something to give back to the needy. And I guess related to the question is, we were really influenced, at least I think we both of us were really influenced from young, from our mother, who actually was quite active in Lions. So Lions organization, so doing a lot of charity work. So I still remember that she brought us to old folks' homes, for example, when we were really young. So at that time, obviously, we didn't have smartphones to play games and all that. So we were taking toys and physical toys and playing. And once in a while, our mother would tell us to please go give this food to the uncle or the auntie and all that. So maybe subconsciously we were being brainwashed into helping out. Yeah.
That's interesting. Next question. What are some of the reasons as to why people do not carry out food saving activities even after knowing the problem of food wastage? Why do you think so, from your personal opinion?
If you're talking about the context of restaurants or F&B establishments, a lot of them, or even food suppliers, for example, supermarkets, a lot of them are worried about liability. They're worried that if they donate, there might the consumer or the person that gets the food might get sick, and then they might get sued. So that's their biggest concern. And then if anybody had a buffet, not recently, but maybe last year or something, if you notice, the buffets usually have a nice little tank card or a card there saying that it's prepared at what time and you have to consume by what time. And even at wedding banquets now, you are not allowed to take away. You're not allowed to tapao, you know. So everybody is quite worried about the food hygiene and food safety. But slowly, the people are turning around and saying that it really shouldn't be wasted. So I think we, for ourselves at Food Bank, we already are collecting cooked food, for example, from Marina Bay Sands, who is, in terms of hygiene and rules and restrictions, they are really right up there with the rest of the F&B establishments. But they still donate food items, cooked food to us. So yeah.
We will touch more into our operations. So what is the process of gathering volunteers, beneficiaries, donors? How is it done? Is it through a website or a form? I think that I can answer. We do it through email. We are really very manual. We don't have any website in terms of trying to gather volunteers or beneficiaries or donors. Next question that we have, how does the workload differ between different roles and organizations? So like volunteers or like regular members. For that, our job scope is actually pretty the same. It's just more of, let's say, if you are a regular volunteer, you can actually help to manage ad hoc volunteers. That's the difference. But mainly they'll do either like warehouse deliveries or pack bundles, or help on a roadshow. So these are the different roles that we have for volunteers. Is there any designated time slot for delivery of food? We have, for the meal distribution, we have it at 10 a.m. and 4:30 p.m. For, let's say, like the bulk donations or like the money rations, the dry items, it's usually just during office hours. There's no specific timing. Maybe Nicholas, you want to answer this? Which best describes the delivery process? So is it either a single personnel delivers a set of foods to a particular beneficiary, or a group of volunteer staff delivering food items to different estate clusters or neighborhoods, or is it the organization drops off food items at a specific location and beneficiaries will go down individually at a specific time to collect their ration?
I think it's all of the above actually. Uh, we it depends on whether we have enough volunteers. So, for example, if it's cooked food, we try our best to have two people in a van or in a car. So, first, it's a lot more efficient. Second, it's a lot more less boring and more fun. Then, of course, when if you're talking about food donations, it is pretty much almost any time, depending on who we're donating it to. If donating to needy, they will take it anytime if they need the food. If it's organizations on a regular basis, then the timings are, we are trying to do it between office hours. And well, yeah.
Okay, so during an interview with the Sustainability Project, Food Bank mentioned that to cope with the shortage of manpower, the organization has incorporated technology. What kind of technology are we referring to?
Ooh, first of all, we use a lot of Excel and paper and Google Sheets. But okay, on a slightly more serious note, we of course one of the things that I mentioned just now was the vending machines. So the vending machines actually help us with distributing food. So we don't need to go there at a certain time. The vending machines can also tell us which, for example, which cubby hole is empty, and we will be able to top up. So that means if there are 10 cubby holes that are empty, then we'll just bring down 10 cubby holes worth of food items. So that's part of technology, and something that we recently just launched, I think a couple of weeks ago, it's the virtual food bank. So essentially what this virtual food bank at its end state it's supposed to do is we are supposed to eliminate ourselves and have the donors, regardless whether it's a home consumer or a supermarket or anybody, liaise with a organization or beneficiary near them, and they will be able to, the beneficiary will be able to choose the food or the donations from that donor, and they will link up with each other, and they will collect the food, or the donor will donate it down. So that's with technology and without, for example, emailing through us as a middleman, or the donor emailing the beneficiary directly.
I think to add on to Nicholas about the food pantry, the vending machine, the credit system is still the same as when we first started out. So that means everyone gets 50 credits auto topped up every month, and then it is equivalent to around like 25 items money. So that's for one of the questions. Are there any cases of public abuse for the pantry, the vending machine? Like they might buy food in large amounts because the items are priced cheaper than supermarkets. Because you wanna try and answer that?
I think when we first started, I think we saw a little bit of this where the public did buy, but I think after that it's pretty stable, I guess. One point to note is that most of the food items we put in the vending machines are of short shelf life. So people who wanted to buy you have to consume it pretty quickly. So we also use the vending machines as a way for fundraising for the food bank. So if people wanted to buy, we are okay as well, because because the food bank needs some funds to survive.
That sounds good. Apart from like the vending machine, we also have the Join Every Bundle program. What actually motivated for the program or the to start? Like what was the cost of wanting to create this program? Because I think it's one of our most popular programs where our donors get to pack and deliver the bundles to individual beneficiaries. So Nicholas, why did we start out this program?
I think we wanted to, the program at the heart of it is us trying to encourage group volunteers and having the group of people or the participants having a feel of working together. So I think we have had we changed it up quite a bit. So in the beginning, this one was all the volunteers had to come down to our warehouse, they had to pack, they had to load it in their cars or the bus, and then they would drive down to the beneficiary and give it out. So, and what happened, what we did change was that we actually sent the food down to the beneficiary directly. And then the volunteers will actually pack on the spot and give out on the spot. So, but at the heart of it is just them having a feel of a group working together, and them when they give out the food to the needy people as well. If you can imagine a corporate or a multinational company with expats, they usually don't end up in a HDB flat, or they usually don't see needy people. They always say that Singapore doesn't have any needy people at all. So this is quite eye-opening for them.
So I think as part of the Joy in Every Bundle program, corporates will need to donate monetary donations. And let's say if they were to donate any monetary donations, they are eligible to get tax deduction. I think it's around 250% tax deduction for all monetary donations. So that is for that. Apart from our other programs, Nicholas, do you think that a community fridge will be helpful to elevate the problem of unequal food distribution?
You say community fridge.
Yes.
Yes, it can work if nobody steals and nobody abuses the fridge and all that. I guess that's just the main worry. The main worry is that people that are not in need, they will still go down and take. I think the community fridge is more of a gathering of the community together. While here at the, for example, at Food Bank where we do the vending machines, we are trying to specifically make sure that the needy people are targeted and are helped. So that's why we issue them the cards and all that. And where we put a dollar value to the items, the people that want to abuse, you still have to spend money. So most of the time when you have to spend money, people will think twice. While if it's a community fridge, for example, when you can open up anytime you like and you can just take anything out, the chances of abuse is way higher.
Nice. Okay, so I think now we're moving on to the beneficiaries. Maybe Nicholas, you want to share more about like how do we test our beneficiaries in terms of their needs, as well as how do we meet the needs of the different beneficiaries? Because individuals, they might have different requests, like vegans or vegetarians or maybe halal. You want to share more about how we onboard individual beneficiaries, as well as how do we cater to the different needs of our beneficiaries?
I guess here there are two type of beneficiaries. Those that are organizations. So for example, old folks homes, children's homes, and all that. So that one we actually do have a checking system and a checklist, and we actually vet them through. And if they pass the checklist, and then we'll onboard them as a beneficiary. Then for, I guess, the individual people, usually what we do is we work through family service centers so that they actually vet through and make sure they are really needy. But in general, we also we pretty much just give out the food. So, but yeah, we try and work through organizations to double check, because I think here at Food Bank we do not have enough manpower to check everybody, and only the family service centers technically have access to data that, for example, how much income does the family have and all that, and that we don't. So we also don't want to try and reinvent the wheel, because the family service centers are actually doing a good job. So we want to let them continue to do their job, and we are just trying to assist with the food needs.
How do you think are we catering to the different needs of the beneficiaries?
If you ask Audrey and the team, we are trying to do it very carefully. Yes, there have been more demands. For example, halal, non-halal, vegans not so bad, not in Singapore at least. But we try our best, and with our new vending machines, which pack frozen food as well, we are also trying to make sure the labels are state very clearly what's inside the food. Of course, we try and avoid pork, no lard, so that in general everybody can eat. But it's very hard and it's very tricky. But one thing from the start, that since we started in 2012 till now, is we have educated the beneficiaries and are constantly re-educating the beneficiaries that you do not choose what you want. If I tell you I have peanut butter, you just take whatever peanut butter I give you, and please do not insist that you want Skippy or Plantas or whatever other brand. Yeah, I think in the beginning everybody requested I only want Skippy peanut butter. Yeah, any other peanut butter is not good enough. But I think we have turned them around now.
Mm. Okay, so in terms of like, let's say if we have an app or website to track the beneficiaries' data and the transport of food to the different collections, do you think it would be useful for the food bank? Why or why not?
If you have an app, yes, we would love to hear from you. So whoever you are, please, I think you have Audrey's email. You can contact Audrey or contact me. I think I'm in the email as well, and then we can have a look. I think we're always trying to find technology to help us do our work better and do our work more efficient. So anything helps.
Okay, I think to add on to the beneficiaries, the demographics of our beneficiaries are actually majority seniors or young families, because a lot of them, our beneficiary centers are actually family service center or CNT centers. So that answers the question of the demographics. Okay, so on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being not at all, 10 being very much, how much do you think our organization has actually impacted the beneficiaries? Nicholas, you want to...
Say that question again.
So on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being not at all and 10 being very much, how much has your organization impacted targeted beneficiaries? So
How
rating
much have we
impacted the beneficiaries.
impacted beneficiaries? I think my answer is not enough. I think we are only touching the tip of the iceberg. It's only I think the last 2-3 years. Even Audrey will probably agree that that we have a lot more traction with food donors and even corporate donors, whether it's for cash or for food. We do not have any major supermarkets coming on board. They are not on board yet. So even though we are in discussion with one and we should close something very soon. But if you can imagine, no supermarkets are donating to us at the moment, at least not on a regular basis, no major ones. So I don't think we are helping that much. It's still very, very little in the whole scheme of things, but every little bit helps.
I'm just going to cover a bit more about the beneficiaries because I think I missed out. Just going to touch on beneficiaries where how do they let us know their preferences? So in terms of the money rations, right, what we do is we will usually collate and inventorize 1 to 2 weeks of food donations from different corporates, different individuals. We will collate a list of items from these donations, and then we will email the beneficiary centers the whole list of items that we have in a warehouse. And then the centers will then get to choose what are the items that they want. So they will let us know that they want maybe like 2 packets of salt, 2 packets of sugar, and then we will collect all the lists from the different beneficiaries in a few days, and then we will allocate based on what we have in the warehouse as well as what the beneficiaries want. So the beneficiaries do get some kind of authority to choose their items. It's not like whatever we have, we just dump on them. I mean, different beneficiaries have different needs. Like for example, senior, they cannot eat too salty foods or something like this. So we allow them to choose, but they are not able to choose the type of like the brand of the food items or the flavor, like biscuits. They are only able to see biscuits, crackers, or maybe chips, and then they can let us know what they want. So it's a way that works for both parties. And then once we have already allocated the items according to the list, our volunteers will then tag and our team will distribute the different beneficiary centers. This whole process takes around maybe like 1 to 2 weeks. So our food really goes out really fast. Okay, I think we're moving on towards collaboration with other charities. Do you think if we were to collaborate with other charities in terms of maybe like the other food charities like Food from the Heart, will it help us in terms of our like serving the beneficiaries, and like whether are we open to actually standardizing all the different criteria between the different food charity organizations?
I think during the COVID period, we realized that actually all the beneficial, all the food charities are actually helping each other. So we actually have a WhatsApp group chat. Everybody has multiple WhatsApp group chats, but we have actually a WhatsApp group chat where we actually share information. It is more of an informal sharing currently, but we also try and make sure we don't in a way double dip, where we don't try and give out food to places that for example willing hearts are already giving out to, so that the maximum amount of people can actually benefit from the cooked food and the food donations and all that. So but if the food charities would like to sit down and try and standardize certain things, I think at least for the food bank point of view, we would definitely don't mind exploring that. But I think the MSF would have to probably step in and do something.
I think someone mentioned about MSF having a multi-agency work group in 2019. Uh,
Yep.
yeah, how's your feedback in terms of collaborating with the other charities?
Again, like what I said just now, in general, it's actually it's quite cordial. It's actually quite nice. Uh, we I think MSF has a very tricky uh they're they are in a very tricky position where I don't know, they have to be, how do you put this? They have to be careful and sensitive to every charity's needs and also the beneficiaries' needs, yet not trying to have one or two charities try and take over everything. Because I mean, sometimes if you think about it, if one or two bigger charities actually want to take over everything, they probably could, because Singapore is actually very small. But they also don't want to discourage the rest of the NGOs who are trying and who have a passion for doing things, but want to do things their way. So it's very tricky, but I think we are all trying to work it out.
Understand. Maybe you want to share more about like the collaborations with other organizations, maybe like MNC. How have they actually helped us during maybe like during the COVID season? Collaborations, for example, with Amazon, DBS.
Okay. Amazon. What Amazon did was actually Amazon came in and contributed with deliveries. So delivery guys actually. So they actually came down and assisted with deliveries for us. For DBS, they donated funding. So they donated money to us that went to pay for meals. They also donated trips through their DBS limousines. So I think they donated a total of about 1,000 trips. So basically, if you didn't know, DBS have a bunch of limousines that is supposed to ferry high net worth people to the airport. And of course, our airport's absolutely empty now. So what they did was they diverted all these limousines to the food bank. They came and assisted us to donate food out. So it was actually very fun.
Okay, so maybe you want to share a little bit more about the main issues that we currently face as an organization. I think that's one of the main questions.
Uh, uh, as with most other charities, I don't want to say this, but the main issue is funding. So money is always an ongoing concern, and it's always going to be top of mind or top three concerns for any charity. Besides funding, uh, finding full-time volunteers or finding consistent regular volunteers are also an issue. Uh, we do have some regular volunteers, but then if you hit something like COVID, it's also very, very tricky. Lastly, I think it is also still educating the public about donating food to us and explaining to them what food bank does. I think we've been around for now 7, 8 years, and we still have people that do not know about us or haven't heard of us before. So it's still a long way to go. So yeah.
Okay, I think now we're moving on towards publicity wise. Do you think do we face any troubles in attracting attention for future events? Is our publicity enough in reaching out to to the public audience? What is the general response of our initiative from the public?
Okay, I go backwards. General response. It's quite heartening, in general, everybody likes what we do. I thank my team. All my team's all very young. So Audrey's not the youngest, so we have younger people as well, I think. Yeah, so we have a very young, energetic team that doesn't like to work mornings. They work better at night. But we have been quite lucky. All the publicity that we have gotten has been quite positive. I'm very sure we have one or two negative ones, but the positive ones have outweighed the negative ones, that's for sure. Do we need more publicity? Yes. Yeah, we have never turned down publicity because with all the publicity we have gotten so far, we still have people have never heard of us.
To add on to Nicholas' answer about publicity, I think for us, our main audience is actually for schools and corporates, because I mean they usually have to do their CSR hours or VIA hours, so that's our main audience that we usually target with. And in terms of social media, we are increasing our social media game by posting more regularly, as well as coming up with new content to actually to communicate with the younger audience, because that's what we're trying to reach out to right now. I think we can move on to student project feedback. I think some of them have actually sent over their project. One of them is actually doing about a RFID solution, which has three functions. Firstly is to track the food consumption by the opening of packages and spoilage by the emission of gases when food spoils, and also categorize food items that are to be distributed to the beneficiaries based on its nutritional contents. Let's say if we were to have a RFID tag with sensors to each food item, how effective do you think this solution will be, as well in terms of helping to reduce food waste and helping the beneficiaries of the public to be more informed about the choices when redistributing food items?
I think it has to be. I think if you want to try this, it has to be very selective. RFID is not cheap, and if it's for a food item, but the problem is that, for example, if it's a bag of rice that we're donating to a family, you tag the RFID on the bag, you will not know when they throw away the bag, because I don't know how you're going to track that. So an RFID usually works only when it's doing I think it's close quarters. That means it doesn't track I don't think you can track it remotely as well. So but in general it's a good idea. We just have to figure out how do you do it and who wants to participate in it, because more and more people are worried about privacy as well.
Okay. There's another project group also that was suggesting to either have a web app for individuals to find out more information about different charities and sign up as a volunteer, or maybe we can create a vending machine. I think for us, we would go for the vending machine for bento meals, which is what we're actually planning to do right now, because it allows our beneficiaries to redeem the food items at any time of the day, a hot meal at any time of the day, even if say they're working at 12 midnight and then they end their shift, no shops are open. This vending machine is actually a really good idea for them to redeem their food items. I have quite a few questions just came in from the chat. Mainly it's about the type of food that we accept for donations. Nicholas, you want to share the type of food of items that you accept as donations?
We take anything actually. We take all sorts of food. We take cooked, we take chilled, we take frozen, we take packaged. As a rule of thumb, we try and ask people to donate anything that's 1 month and above shelf life. But if there are certain items, for example, if a vegetable farmer wanted to donate vegetables to us, there's no such thing as a month shelf life for vegetables. So we actually can accept those as well on a case-on-case basis. So, but in general, we take everything.
Yeah, I think we have covered all of the questions, and our time is running out soon. Like to thank everyone for joining this sharing session. We will be posting this sharing session on our social media so that many different other students who have also similar questions can also view this sharing. And then if you have any further questions, you can either drop us an email, but we should have covered everything. Thank you for your time today.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks, everybody. Bye.
Thank you.
Nice to see your names. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.